A Step into the Past Volume 21 Chapter 11. Book 21 Chapter 11 River Prisoner. After the episode, Xiang Xiaolong's status is largely elevated. For a start, he gets to upgrade from his basement bunk to a room in the middle deck. He is now roommates with 4 other family warriors and no longer face the likes of Guming and the other drivers. Most importantly, nobody dares to pick on him anymore or even be rude to him verbally. Of course, this is not solely based on Feng Fei's warning, it is also due to his assault on Wu Suan and company. To a certain extent, he has risen to become the hero of the troop. Many other colleagues who have been oppressed by Zhang Chuan, S.A. Li, and Sister Ling in the past are now delighted to have Xiang Xiaolong vent their frustration. In the power struggle within the troop, he is no longer a newcomer but a veteran, a winner. But according to his escape plans, he is the biggest loser. He is naturally unwilling to be sent to Qi in such a manner, but it is suicide to jump into the river and swim away in the middle of winter. It is still a question if he can successfully slip away at the next landing. At dinner time, there is still no one who is courageous enough to strike a conversation with him. Nonetheless, people are beginning to nod their head to acknowledge him and their body language is friendlier. Xiang Xiaolong relished his peace. When most of the troop staff retreated back into their rooms to avoid the cold winter wind, he sat alone on a pile of goods at the ship's tail. He stared blankly at the gorgeous scenery on the 2 riverbanks under the starry sky. 3 other big ships are following closely behind. Remembering his lovely wives and son in Xianyang, now further and further away from him, and recalling Zhou Yang and the Eagle King's tragic death, as well as his soldiers dying one by one beside him, his chest swelled up with intense emotions and he nearly wanted to shout his lungs out. Li Mu taught him the bitterness of defeat in war. But he does not hate him, nor bear thoughts of revenge. Li Mu did mention, if we ever meet on the battlefield, there will be no mercy. Li Mu's words felt fresh in his mind, as if it was only spoken to him yesterday. Now that he is unaccounted for, will Xiao Pan be miserable or secretly celebrating? At the end of the day, Xiang Xiaolong represents Xiao Pan's past. Without Xiang Xiaolong, Xiao Pan can be the great Qin Shi Huang without any reservations. Xiang Xiaolong is having conflicting thoughts. Xiao Pan is changing every day. In the history of China, every warrior who assisted his lord significantly never enjoys a good ending, unless he betrayed his lord to be king. Therefore, he exercised utmost caution in this aspect. He seldom claimed credit for his achievements, but he somehow became a center of power regardless and exerts notable influence over this future Qin Shi Huang. He knew Xiao Pan since his teens. Will he be able to avoid this unfortunate tradition? Deep in his contemplations, a gentle female voice sounded beside his ear, "A penny for your thoughts." Xiang Xiaolong broke out of his stupor and turned his head around. It is the recently promoted lead musician Yu Niang. He hurriedly got up and paid his respects. Yu Niang stepped to his side, shoulder to shoulder, and sighed, "Are you enjoying the scenery here in loneliness because everyone else on this ship is terrified of you?" "First Mistress, Feng Fei, and I saw you from the upper decks and it is she who asked me to speak to you." Xiang Xiaolong observed at her carefully. This lady should be 27 or 28 years old. She maintained her beauty well and her silky skin is comparable to a much younger girl. Her well-defined features are peppered with small signs of aging, but she has a more womanly feel. He was mesmerized momentarily. Yun Niang saw him staring at herself and smiled, "Looking at how intoxicated you are earlier, I am sure you enjoy countless days of glory serving Prince Xinling. Out of his 3,000 family warriors, being his personal driver is an accomplishment already. Now, no one will belittle you." Xiang Xiaolong recollected the gratitude and enmity between him and Prince Xinling, his bright eyes revealing signs of melancholy. The usually calm and composed Yun Niang was struck by his expression and her heart is beginning to stir. She can feel herself becoming more and more attracted to this man. Xiang Xiaolong caught Yun Niang averting his own gaze and thought to himself, "Even she is afraid of me." He sighed, "To be loved everywhere you go or to be feared everywhere you go, which is a better choice?" Yun Niang discovered she cannot relate to Xiang Xiaolong as a plain subordinate anymore, and his words have aroused her interests. Pushing back her delicate hair, which has been blown out of place by the wind, she replied without thinking, "Needless to say, it is better to be loved." Her face reddened when she finished speaking. Xiang Xiaolong shook his head. This is the mindset of the young and inexperienced. It will be great to have both, but that is impossible. I will choose to be feared, at least that keeps me safe. Yun Niang was stunned at his words. A long while later, she confessed, "Your thinking is indeed unique, but not without reason. Many who have hurt me in the past are people who loved me. AI. For your level of talent, why are you contented to be a simple driver?" Even she herself could not comprehend why she is discussing intimate matters with a subordinate. Xiang Xiaolong of course does not suffer from any inferiority complex. To a modern man from the 21st century, every human being is equal. In reply to her question, Xiang Xiaolong bitterly laughed. Luck comes in cycles. Yun Niang will never fully understand his true intentions, but after spending some time to grasp the meaning of his words, she was moved. What an excellent way to describe the factor of luck in our human lives. Reluctantly, she bade, "I have to go and report to Miss." Xiang Xiaolong took the chance to inquire, "Are we docking soon?" Yun Niang responded, "Are you thinking of heading to shore to entertain yourself?" "Not on this stop. We will reach Li Xia tomorrow, but will only dock for 2 hours. Except for those purchasing supplies, nobody else is permitted to leave the ship. I have to go." Watching her sashay away, Xiang Xiaolong groaned inwardly. Looks like he has to postpone his escape to the stop after the next. As expected, the ship docked the next day. From the deck, Xiang Xiaolong can see the pier swarming with Qi citizens, from commoners to officials. Everyone wants to catch a glimpse of Feng Fei, and even the city mayor personally came on board to pay his respects to Feng Fei, giving Xiang Xiaolong no chance to slip away. He is beginning to grow impatient. This ship resembles an open-concept water-borne prison to him. The sole consolation is that throughout these days on board, he has fully recovered from all his ordeals. He looks much better than he was when he was still a fugitive. His skin is no longer coarse and yellow, and he is no longer all skin and bones. On the way back to his room, he bumped into Zhang Chuan. He gave Zhang Chuan a venomous look, but Zhang Chuan only smiled in return. He is now quite friendly with the 4 family warriors, and he tried to ask more about the next pier stop. One of them, named Fei Sun, laughed. Brother Shen must thinking about girls. This Fei Sun is of middle build, which means he is shorter than Xiang Xiaolong by an entire head. With average looks and an easygoing character, he makes everyone around him feel comfortable. Just turning 30, he is the eldest among the 4 family warriors. Another family warrior named Feng Liang answered, "We will be docking at Dis City the day after tomorrow, and it will also be the last stop before we reach Linzai, capital of Qi. If you guys want to have some fun, this is it. I've heard about massive inflation in Linzai, and we likely cannot afford the fun there." Feng Liang is a 20-year-old lad, tall and muscular. He is only shorter by Xiang Xiaolong by a few inches and is the most knowledgeable among the 4. Another family warrior is named Lei Yuner. Younger by Feng Liang by 2 or 3 years, he is born with long limbs and resembles a primate with a shapely body. Due to him hooking up with an influential serving maid, he behaves in a superior manner. Despite treating Xiang Xiaolong as a friend, he is still demeaning in some ways. He snorted in boredom. "Who says you need money to get chicks? Watch how I do it when the time comes." Fei Sun and Feng Liang stood up to protest, and the 3 men are having a noisy banter. Xiang Xiaolong remembered himself and his drinking buddies Little Zhang, Man Nu, and Xi Pao back in the 21st century. The atmosphere is similar, and he immediately felt a sense of warmth. When men get together and engage in idle chatter, the topics will hardly deviate from women and money. Dis City is his last chance of escape. If he arrived in key capital Linzai, it will be several times more treacherous. Just based on Tian Dan's subordinates alone, several of them can easily identify him. The worst circumstance is that as Feng Fei's driver, he will have to drive her to and fro all the residences of the rich and powerful. His fake identity will be easily exposed and the menace then follows will be overwhelming. He was about to turn in when there was a knock on the door. A serving maid came looking for Xiang Xiaolong, announcing that Feng Fei wants to see him. Xiang Xiaolong was caught by surprise. His heart began to beat faster and faster. Why would Feng Fei want to see a lowly driver like him? The maid leading the way looked slightly familiar and Xiang Xiaolong instantly remembered that she is the fierce who scolded him on the first boarding day. He asked, "How do I address elder sister?" The maid coldly hissed, "Why do you have so many questions? Why are you so talkative? When you meet mistress later, you better know what's good for you. If you infuriate her, you will be having endless trouble in your life." From her barrage of words, Xiang Xiaolong predicted that she is either on Sister Ling's side or even a close acquaintance of her, which explains her dissatisfaction with him. He could not be bothered to see eye to eye with her and smiled silently. They ascended to the upper decks. Feng Fei is without her veil and is sitting serenely in a special seat in the center of the ship's hall. Xiang Xiaolong paid his usual respects before sitting down on a floor cushion as gestured by Feng Fei. The cushion is about 5 feet away from her. The vicious maid took her leave and only the two of them are left in the hall. The attraction between males and females is a naturally occurring phenomenon. Xiang Xiaolong could not hold back and feasted his eyes on this grand beauty. Her sitting posture alone is already exceedingly enthralling. Feng Fei is in a long and wide highly quality silk dress that covers her legs and feet. Parts of the dress that went beyond her feet are folded nicely to her left. Although she was sitting down, her back is straight like a pencil, causing her breasts to become more prominent. It was a proud yet elegant pose. Any ordinary man will be tempted to touch her and it must be a heavenly feeling to touch such an extraordinary beauty. Her hair is tied up into a bun and her expression is peaceful and gentle. Xiang Xiaolong finally understood why Tu Xian praised her as a beauty inside and outside. Placed beside her is a 5-string zither. The strong wooden smell and the deep wooden color contrast well with her white dress, embroidered with a yellow phoenix, increasing her attractiveness. This will be the perfect sitting portrait. It transcends pure beauty and is more like a work of art, a poem. There is a pot of burning wood in the hall and the occasional cackling sound from the fire, coupled with the sounds of waves hitting the ship, formed a melodious tune. Even a strong-willed man like Xiang Xiaolong can feel his heart slowly melting away in from of this enchanting beauty. It is no surprise why she the head of the 3 courtesans. No wonder the number of kings, marquises, generals, and lords who succumbed to her looks are immeasurable. As long as she paid a little bit more attention to anyone is more than enough to send them into ecstasy. As he was fighting his own agitations, Feng Fei plainly asked, "How did Prince Wuji die?" Xiang Xiaolong raised his sense of awareness, lowered his head and replied in a pained tone, "If mistress had asked me the same question in Daliang, I will never give an honest answer." He continued speaking with great emotion as if he was there to witness the entire scene. "Only that incompetent king is gravely ill and is about to pass on. Lord Longyang and Crown Prince descended upon our residence with a large army, delivering a single cup of wine. Prince Xinling summoned us batch by batch to give instructions about his funeral and his will. He then drank that cup of wine." Ai. Xiang Xiaolong knew that he must tell a detailed story or he might arouse the suspicions of this intelligent beauty. Thus, he cooked up the whole fairy tale to avoid her pressing for other facts. As anticipated, Feng Fei did not show any signs of disbelief. She lightly sighed and did not speak further. Thinking at the speed of light, Xiang Xiaolong suspected that Feng Fei might be interviewing him now to test her theories. Nevertheless, he is confident to smoke his way through. Although they had an unplanned encounter with dim lightings and his dressing and posture are now vastly different from before. He has a face full of beard now and is still about 5 kilograms thinner than before. The best cover for him is that Zhang Chuan hired him from the official stables of Wei. Of course no one will expect such an incredible turn of events except for Xiang Xiaolong. Feng Fei laid his eyes on his face and softly asked, Shen Liang, are you really just an ordinary driver for Prince Wuji? Xiang Xiaolong was slightly taken aback, but his quick-thinking mind has already produced a story for him. He confessed, Mistress is indeed sharp. I used to be working for the great Zhao General Lian Po. With General Lian, we left Zhao to depend on Prince Wuji. I became his family warrior and I thought I could make a name for myself. But heaven has other plans for me and I became a destitute in Daliang. After these two upheavals, I harbor no more ambitions. All I wish is to make my fortune, find a rural village and live a simple life until I die. Feng Fei was impressed. Heaven has other plans for me. What an excellent saying. It manages to convey a sense of helplessness and disappointment in it. Brother Shen, your encounters are definitely lamentable, but if it is not too meager for your worldly talents, how would you like to be my troop general manager? Xiang Xiaolong feigned embarrassment and lowered his head, imploring, since when do I deserve mistress to call me brother? Moreover, I am still a newcomer and don't command the respect of the troop yet. Mistress, please reconsider your decision. Feng Fei smiled, I have toured all the 7 states and have met all kinds of people. You are someone who does not succumb to pressure, can hold your ground and exceptionally self-assured. From these I can tell that you are not used to a lowly position. AI. You reminded me of someone I once met in Xianyang. If not for Zhang Chuan vouching for your identity, I would have made a mistake. Xiang Xiaolong was shocked, but he pretended to be keenly interested, inquiring, do I really resemble your friend? Feng Fei scrutinized him carefully and her eyes showed signs of uncertainty. She dreamily replied, there is a certain resemblance, especially your eyes. But even without Zhang Quan's verification, I also know that you cannot be him. There is news from Zhongmu that he has safely returned. It is amusing how Wei nearly combed every inch of Daliang just to find out that it is a mistake. Of course they cannot find their target. Xiang Xiaolong was hit by a realization. He is certain that Teng Yi and Jing Jun have received news from Jing village about his whereabouts. They deliberately create a smokescreen, spreading rumors that he is safely back in Zhongmu. This will convince his enemies to give up searching for him. This is a truly brilliant strategy. All they have to do is find Wu Guo or someone with a similar build as him, and with simple disguise makeup, he can pass off as Xiang Xiaolong when viewed from afar. The only person who saw him in Daliang is Lord Longyang, who is in a dilemma as well, for if he tells the truth he would also be blamed for letting Xiang Xiaolong escape. Ultimately, Lord Longyang is still loyal to him. He did not contest the rumors and kept quiet, indirectly giving him a lifeline. Regarding the secret palace tunnels, they may still be undiscovered, or even when discovered, may not be linked to him, as the idea would seem too far-fetched. With all these new information entering his brain, Xiang Xiaolong can finally smell salvation, the light at the end of the tunnel. Invigorated like a new man, he held back his joy and mentioned instead, Mistress must be referring to Xiang Xiaolong of Qin. Feng Fei looked at him emotionally, her eyes betraying her longing for that encounter, but she kept quiet. In this moment, Xiang Xiaolong recognizes that Feng Fei has some feelings for him and is greatly honored. Feng Fei gently revealed, after my visit to Linzai, I would have accomplished my dream of touring all the states. I will disband the song and dance troupe, return back to the south and live an ordinary life. Xiang Xiaolong was shaken, so mistress is intending to retire. Feng Fei lightly smiled, I am not somebody who can sit still in one place. Since I cannot conquer the world through power, I shall influence the world through my music, glorifying the songs and dances left behind by our ancestors. This trip to Linzai will be a rather challenging one. Someone has leaked the news that I am going to disband my troupe after visiting Linzai. Now everyone is watching my every move. Brother Shen should know what I mean. Xiang Xiaolong was baffled. Since this is the case, why doesn't mistress abandon this trip? All your problems will be solved, wouldn't it? Feng Fei simply countered, if I did not cover Lin Ziyi in my tour, it will be like a missing jigsaw puzzle, I will never live it down. Moreover, isn't life about meeting challenges and not running away from challenges? If I back out now, I will live in regret for the rest of my life. Pausing, she added, talented men like you are not easily acquired. Why don't we trade our dreams? When Brother Shen successfully assisted me in leaving Qi safely, and not condemned to be someone's mistress or concubine, I will reward Brother Shen with 20 ingots of gold, securing your livelihood for life. Xiang Xiaolong can feel a headache coming. Firstly, he himself is unwilling to go to Lin Ziyi. Even if he somehow made it there, he will do his utmost to stay low profile to avoid detection. As the general manager of the song and dance troupe, he has to face the likes of Tian Dan, as well as the dignitaries of Qi on a daily basis. He, too, has to manage the duties of the managing the troupe and prepare counter-tactics to protect Feng Fei's chastity. Taking up this job is as good as offering his neck to the executioner's sword. Simultaneously, he can understand Feng Fei's predicament. As long as the song and dance troupe is touring the states, they cannot be violated. But once this protective status is gone, every man will wish to bring this fresh flower home to his bedroom. This is a unique culture and attitude, provided that Feng Fei keeps the same distance from everyone and maintain her neutrality, she can maintain her individual status. Upon disbandment of the troupe, she becomes available to the public and men will definitely fight over her. Her considerations are not without reason. Xiang Xiaolong can only bitterly smiled, mistress is giving me too much credit. This is not something he can accomplish by sheer might, but rejecting her will seem inappropriate too. Looks like he has to harden his resolve and help her out. He was in a dilemma. Feng Fei soothingly state, if you are not willing to help me, do you think Zhang Xuan is up to it? At least you are someone who is not easily bribed. I have zero confidence in Zhang Quan's integrity. She then sighed, at the end of the day, we are just womenfolk. We need you to handle all those stinky men. Xiang Xiaolong frowned, if mistress had kept this disbandment a secret, wouldn't you have avoided all these trouble? Revealing a pained expression, Feng Fei lamented, I intentionally shared this secret with someone close to me and misled her into thinking that she is not the only one who knows, testing her honesty. Now, we all know the truth and while it did endanger my life, it was worth it. Xiang Xiaolong was shaken, is it second mistress? Regaining her calm, Feng Fei nodded, all along she has been wanting to take over my position, in a world where men call the shots, it is an uphill task for women to stand out in any career. The only exception is the song and dance troupe. She is second in authority after me and will naturally want to get rid of me. Xiang Xiaolong suggested, why don't you just let her take over the song and dance troupe? Feng Fei explained, this is a highly complicated problem. When I first started out, I promised all my followers that upon disbandment, everyone would receive a generous payout. AI. We all know an entertainment career is short-lived. When we have made enough money to retire, who would want to continue slogging? Therefore, Dong Shuzhen has to try to wrest control of the song and dance troupe from me before I disband. Lingering, she added, in actual fact, you have already helped me a lot by giving me a chance to chase Sa Li away. However, Dong Shuzhen is now in cahoots with Zhang Xuan, Brother Shen should understand my difficulty. Xiang Xiaolong can feel his troubles piling up. He pretended to accept the promotion. His contradictory situation and suffering is indescribable. He could not bear having such a gifted, outstanding, and gorgeous lady getting into harm's way and falling into the claws of someone she do not love.